Hello, GenderqueerChat viewers. My name is Christina, and I'm subbing again this week. This week's topic is, what do you think of hormones and/or surgeries? Which I kind of briefly mentioned last week. I'm kind of hesitant to do anything that's permanent, so at the moment, I'm not doing anything hormone or surgery related. I've considered in the past getting maybe a breast reduction because the way that it is right now is a little bit much. But I don't think, and I think I may have told you guys in a previous video at some point that I wouldn't be okay with having a totally flat chest. I think I'd be a little bit sad about that, but I definitely would prefer if it was a little bit smaller than it is at the moment, because it's a little bit much. So I don't know, like, that's a possibility that maybe one day I might get a breast reduction. I'm not sure. As for hormones, any hormones that I personally would be getting, of course, would be testosterone. I don't know if I want to go down that road at all, because the way that I look at it is that I would be pretty much okay with almost any change. The main change that I really don't want is the voice change. And I'm sure for most genderqueer, female assigned at birth people, that they think, gee, I'd love to have a lower voice. Well, I already have a low voice. I'm perfectly okay with that, the way it is. I like that I have a low androgynous-ish voice. So that's the one, and that's one of the permanent changes, that it doesn't go back to the way it was if you stop taking tea. So I would have to be very careful. My thought is I would like to take a little bit of testosterone. Here's the ideal situation would be I would take a tiny bit of testosterone, and like, seriously, a ridiculously low amount. Like, the way that I posed this to my doctor, and she didn't want to, well, anyway, long story. Okay, so what happened was and this was a few months ago, half a year ago, I can't remember, it was a while ago, and I told my doctor that I wanted to take a little bit of testosterone, and like, very, very small amount, and the amount that she would be giving me would probably be the kind that sometimes middle-aged women take testosterone for one reason or another. So I was going to take a very, very small amount, and the goal that I was going to reach was to basically get my hormones into a state where my testosterone is as high as possible within the normal female range, normal healthy range for a female-bodied person. Because I don't want to, because I've heard of things like that it's, I've heard some trans guys say that it's not a good idea to stay on a low dose for an extended period of time, that someone said, now, again, this is totally hearsay, so I have no idea, what the truth is. I haven't really talked in depth with an endocrinologist or a doctor or anything at length in any case. So a trans guy on YouTube I once saw, said that his thinking was that if you have a low dose of testosterone for a long period of time, it's like as if your testosterone and your estrogen are constantly battling. If they're both, because one has to be significantly higher than the other. That's the idea that he had. So I don't know. That's just, I don't know. So ideally, I would take a little bit of testosterone and then still stay within the healthy range. Because I'm thinking the amount that it takes to get a voice change probably isn't that much. So the amount that I would be able to take probably isn't that much. It would be pretty low amount that I would be able to take without getting a voice change. That would be ideal. Now, when I told my family doctor that I wanted to take a little bit of testosterone, she was okay with the idea, but she wanted to get a second opinion because she is not an expert in hormones. So she talked to an endocrinologist. I don't know the person's name. I have no clue. But this person had told her, I think it was a guy, but whether that's relevant or not. Anyway, this person told my family doctor that he or she, I'm assuming it was a he, never ever would prescribe testosterone to a young, healthy female. So I got screwed out of luck. So I've been trying to find ways around that, and one way that I was considering doing was to go to, there's a place, I live in Alberta, in Canada, the province of Alberta. So, just to the west of me, the next province over is British Columbia, BC. And, within BC is Vancouver. On the way west, west is that way. West as far as you can go. Out on, well, not quite as far as you can go, but anyway, it's pretty far. So, in Vancouver, apparently Alberta doesn't have this, but the closest place to me that has informed consent for hormones is in Vancouver, and it's some gender clinic or some such thing, and they would be able to give me some prescribe to me some testosterone. Yeah, without having to go through a ridiculous amount of therapy. Because the thing that I'm concerned about is if I go through therapy, that there might not be so favorable to a genderqueer person. Especially, I mean, because I'm wanting such a small amount, you know, I don't know, they might not be so happy with that. Because, you know, because I don't want to fully transition. So, yeah. What I want is, I don't know if it's possible. I could try to go the therapy route, but the issue with that is that I'm almost certain that the only pathway that is available within my province of Alberta is to fully transition to male, or from male to female, vice versa. And I don't want to fully transition, because, as stated, I don't want, you know, there's a lot of things I don't want. I don't want to completely get rid of my chest. I don't want to have lower surgery. I don't want to lower my voice. I'm okay with the other changes, but that's an early change that I don't want to do. So the only thing that I really want is a very small amount of testosterone, and it is extremely hard to get. So whether I'm going to go to that gender clinic in Vancouver, I may at some point to get a small amount of testosterone. Because there would be a few little changes that I would be happy with. The other alternative is to try natural transitioning. And that's not only extremely expensive if I were to go the route of the, like, pills and stuff that you are advised to take, and it's just, and then that passes through your liver, and that's just way too much trouble. Because that's, you know, there's so much crap that you're taking, and anyway, it's not really what I want to do. The only other way is, other than that, which isn't really, I mean, when you can think of it as natural, it's not really that natural, because you're popping pills and stuff. There's like I don't know, I can't remember exactly what stuff you have to take. Anyway, geez, how have we been talking for this long? Okay, so that's the gist of my story concerning hormones and surgeries. Oh yeah, so the other alternative to getting a slightly higher amount of testosterone in my body is to do tons and tons of strength training. because I've heard that the more muscle you have, the more your body creates testosterone. So, okay, on to the bonus question. What is your idea of excitement? So, on the one hand, of course, there's, sexual excitement. But I'm not really going to get into that. So I'm going to talk about adrenaline and things that are, where's my grammar? Things that are awesome. In fact, I will post a link down below to this really cool video. Basically the whole channel. The guy makes just awesome freaking videos, and I would love to do the giant Utah arch thing. This is swing. Anyway, you'll see the link. It's epic. So things that are exciting for me. I dropped 80 feet free fall once. I live in Calgary, and there's a major event here every year called the Calgary Stampede. You may have heard of it, hopefully. So every July, there's the Calgary Stampede. When I was 12, they had a little exhibit here in the Calgary Stampede called the Millennium Drop. And they took you up a tower, and I can't remember if I had to climb, or probably. And you're at the top of this tower, and there's a hole in the middle of this tower, so there's like a walkway, in a square, and then so you walk. Okay, so then you're attached by a rope, and then you are attached by a clip and that sort of thing, and so you're hanging there, and then you get let go, and you fall 80 feet free fall into a huge blue mat. And I will put up a couple pictures. I think I only have one at the moment. I will put up a picture of me in the Millennium Drop before I fell 80 feet. And it just totally took my breath away. It was just like, as soon as I got let go, it was just like, oh my gosh. And then, so it was awesome. It was freaking awesome. It's one of the things that I'm just like, that was like one of the best things I've ever done in my life. So, another thing that I will mention, I like amusement parks. The amusement park that is right outside Calgary is not that fantastic. No offense to anybody who really likes it, or no offense to the park itself, but it's not that great. I'm 21. I've gotten a little bit bored with that place. So, the next best thing is up in Edmonton, is the West Edmonton Mall, and they have a theme park called Galaxyland. And my favorite ride of all time is the Solar Flare. Part of which you can stand. Anyway, I'll just put a link below to a video. I'm gonna stop wasting your time now. I'm gonna be off, and people are talking to me, so I have to go talk to them. Okay, bye guys. See you next week when I'm pretty sure I will sub again. So, see ya.